So whatever you want to do, you can do so here. Of course, your field type will be numeric, because we are kind of doing the operations in numeric. But other than the numeric, this field type can also accept the currency fields. Let's say, some of the fields are by default, comes with the currency. So $7,000, 7,000 euros. So since that's also a number, but that's a currency field, so for the arithmetic calculations Workday also accept the currency type of fields. So let's say my field type is numeric. This is the rounding rule because it's a number. So if you have that much granular level of data that you are looking. So Workday also allows you to do the rounding things by 0.1, 0.5, 100, 000, whatever you need the rounding in as per your need. You can do the grounding. Now there is this checkbox here that you would see. You would see this checkbox in some of the calculated field type, just like in this one in the build it, calculated fields. So you'll see this. So, since it's number calculated, field Workday allows you that. Let's say there was an error in calculating the number, or maybe you indefinitely did something, divide by 0, or something like that. So since it's a number, anything could happen because you don't know what your input would be based on, which calculation is happening. So there is a checkbox here written 0 on error. So, since it's a number field, when there is a calculation error, or there is something which is stuck due to any number input, something like that, that is impossible for Workday to calculate. So, rather than your field goes into error in the execution, if you check this checkbox, what will happen? That if there is a calculation error in doing this, then Workday will return a 0 field instead of erroring out. So what happens is, let's say, your report was running for 10,000 workers and out of those 10,000 workers, 5 workers were such for which this field was going into error. So what will happen is your entire report will kind of go into error, saying that these 5 workers were in error while calculating the report. So in those cases, if you want to avoid these errors, but in that case the data also becomes inaccurate because it will be returning 0. So that wouldn't make sense to the systems or something, so that totally depends on you. If you have a critical field like this and you don't want to send wrong information and rather you would be happy to have your report going into error, then based on that, you can choose or unchoose that. Now, this will not be for every calculated field, just for the calculated fields. If for the things that it might go into error and create troubles. So then will be your row of entries that you will be doing here, that is, you will building your logic here in these rows. So let's say what you want to do. When you want to get the monthly salary, what you do? You take the annual salary and divide it by 12, so annual salary, here you will be choosing it in your fields. So these columns are just for the applying the braces or in and outs. This will be the fields where you will be choosing what to multiply with, what to add with, or whatever you want. These will be the fields, and this will be the operator where you will be choosing the operator. That what you want to do. So I took a field called total base pay amount. So this is my work delivered field and this field type is of currency, which is giving my workers annual yearly base pay. What I'm doing is I'm taking this for every worker, dividing among the operations, divide, multiply plus, minus subtract. These 4 operations work. The support, so I'm dividing this by number 12. So, as you know, Workday has a lot of text. Call numeric text constants created already. But if you want the number which is not in Workday's list, let's say you want a point number, or you want a decimal number. So Workday just cannot keep on creating every other decimal number. It would be on your need-to-need basis. So if your number that you want, first thing would be that whatever the number is, you will first of all try typing that number if that number exists or not. If that number exists, then you can use it. If that number does not exist, then you can create your own numeric constant, and then that numeric constant with which will work as a number only, and then you can use it as a. So numeric constant is again a type of calculated field which will be learned, so you can create a text constant like as active, whatever text constant you want. Similarly, you can create numeric constant as well. You want -2, 2.3, 1.5. So you can create numeric constant as well as calculated fields, and then you can reference. So here you will reference the calculated fields, the Workday delivered fields. Anyone that is there you can reference them, and in Workday, there is no such number. Call as negative text constants the number. If it is appended with a minus sign, it will be the minus. If the number which is appended with the plus sign without any sign that it is. So if you see for number 12, you have -12 as well, and then you have 12 as well. So if you want to create a negative numeric constant, you can create that as well. So here, I am doing total base pay divided by 12, and I am getting the required output in here. If I have a calculation, I want to do multiplication or whatever the output is. After that, I want to add some number to it and then add 20,000 or whatever, so that I can choose in the next row and I can do that. So this is my arithmetic calculation, which is going to give me the arithmetic output. So I only had total base pay. I did not have monthly, or if I want some random calculation, I want to add some number. So Workday will allow me to put on the calculations, but it will not support with every requirement in the Workday delivered field, because it could be everything. So Workday gives us the base values good enough so that you can come up to your calculations and create the values of your own using the calculated fields. So once you have created your calc field, you just copy your calc field and go to your report. So this is the only way to check whether your field is working fine or not. You just add those calc fields you want to check and you go to your report. And you just add them in your report that I not copy. So you call your fields here again. You'll give it some name. Whatever you want to give by default will be calculated field name. But whatever you want to call them, you can call them. And here you can test what value it is deriving to you. So here's your number coming in. We have an error. So I think we'll discuss this in the security session, but it has got already, so I'll just explain. So you have got this error. This. You can remember once again this error. So this errors, you will see, mostly when I mean you have a security created for your calculated field and you have an ISU created, and then your ISU was created with the values which were there in the report. You provided all the security, so I think it's better we discuss this in the security session. So whenever you create the security for any report, you kind of give every field security, whatever the domain that field is lying in. You cover the domains, whatever is required by that particular field, and give it to the ISU via the integration system security group. So if tomorrow, you come and then you add a new field to the report, but now the ownership of this report is with the integration system user and not with you. So as you add new fields, and if those new fields are requiring new security, then Workday will start throwing the error called this column fields is invalid for functional constraints. And then it will give you the report name, the owner of that report, and, finally, the field which is going into error due to the security. So if you get this error anywhere in your system, mostly you will get it. If your report was on a security group report was on ISU assignment and then later on, because the enhancements keeps coming right. So you are enhancing the report, you are adding some report, you are adding some new logic to the filter, or you're adding some new column to your columns tab and that new field is requiring new security. Previously you might not have been using that domain, but now, due to that field, you would want to use that and you have added that field. So Workday will start giving you this error that this field is invalid for functional constraints. So what is the resolution in these cases? You find the security of this field, what this field needs, the domains, and then assign these domains to your security group. That we will discuss in our security session. So for now, we have just added our field in the report. So this is the arithmetic calculation calc field. The next we are going to discuss is the lookup related value field. It is very important field and you will be using it very frequently, and it can be used in a lot of different ways. So lookup related value. Lookup. Related value field is something which gives you the related value of a source field and then any related value to it.